this is your first time here and you want to develop your skills in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript from the ground up to the expert level, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. In this lecture, I'll get your simple techniques and rules to specify the file path properly. We also learned what is relative file path, what is absolute file path, and what is the difference between relative file path and absolute file path. But before we continue, just pause the video and please download the HTML project for this lecture. You can find the link in the description below. Here on the left, I opened up the HTML project called File Path Example using Visual Studio Code. Inside the project folder, first we have a folder called Grandparent. Inside the Grandparent folder, you have a folder called Parent and one image file called grandparents.png. It looks like this. Inside the Parent folder, we have a folder called im and one image file called parents.png. And it looks like this. Inside the im folder, we have a folder called Child and one image file called im.png. It looks like this, and one HTML document called index.html. Inside the Child folder, we have an image file called child.png, and it looks like this. Now I'll close the Child folder and open up the index.html file. Starting from line 14, I have marked up 4 sections, and every section have a section title marked up with h2 and an image tag with an empty source attribute, so the image file path is missing. So in this lecture, you'll specify the relative file path for the image in every section that is mentioned in the section title. Here on the right, I open up the same HTML document using Google Chrome, and it looks like this. Now the question is, what is relative file path? A relative file path means the file path starts from the location of the file we are linking from and point to other file in the same folder or other folder. And the location of the pointed file is always relative to the location of the file we are linking from. Let's write some code and see how it works in practice. So let's start from the section 1. In this section, we need to specify the relative file path for the image file called im.png. To specify the relative file path, you need to answer those 3 questions. Is the file you want to link in the same folder with the file you want to link from? Is the file you want to link in the parent folder? Is the file you want to link in the child folders? So in this case, the index.html file and im.png file are both in the same folder, so the relative file path to the im.png file looks like this, starting with / this means current folder, and then we put im.png, so this relative file path means that link to the im.png file from the im folder. Now I'll save this, refresh the page, and as you can see, the image file called im.png is now displaying in the browser. We can also remove the /. It also means they are in the same folder. So I remove this. Save and refresh the page. As you can see, the image is still there, so that is how we specify the relative file path when the file you want to link to is in the same folder with the file you want to link from.